Hi, I'm Steve the Missionary, and welcome to my monthly video, How's Your Prayer Life?, where I talk about prayer, what's happening when I pray, and I ask you to come in and comment about what's happening when you pray, because we are a stronger community when we share our prayer life. There's no guest this week, or this month, it's just me. So the question is, how's my prayer life? My prayer life, especially if you watched last week's live video, it's been hard, really difficult. Not much is changing, and I've gone on like 2 trips in the last month outside of the house, which is kind of hilarious because you'd think that going out and relaxing would be great for your prayer life because there's a lot of elbow room and a lot of time for you to just sit and pray. But really, especially when you're with your family, going out and praying by yourself is much more difficult when your schedule has been interrupted. And so spiritual directors will actually tell you one of the worst things you can do for your prayer life is go on vacation. Not that vacation is inherently bad, but that we as people are really bad at maintaining a habit during periods of change. So my prayer life suffered this last weekend. My prayer life was kind of in a weird place when I went to Boston, in that I wasn't praying a lot myself, but I was allowed to be folded into the prayer life of the sisters that I was staying with. Tommy and I stayed with the Daughters of St. Paul in Boston, and so we were in their guest rooms there. But it meant that we were allowed to come for morning prayer and evening prayer, and it meant that we were allowed to be there for their morning mass. And that was fascinating and so wonderful, and I'm so grateful for it. And I learned, I think the number one thing I learned was to respond the mass responses slower, because these are, after all, your prayers. That's you praying when you respond at mass. And just the work of turning mass into a prayer has been a big deal for me this month. I remember, it was a couple years ago, I took a friend to mass, and he's entirely non-religious, and we went to mass, and he said, that was cool, I guess, but the people there, no one was smiling. And on the one hand, I totally understand what he's saying. Like, no one seemed to be enjoying themselves at church, so why would I ever go to church myself? But on the other hand, I think there was like a limitation in his own understanding where smiling is good, but smiling is not something you expect someone who's currently praying to do. Doing the work of prayer and worship does not necessarily come with a smile. It comes with sometimes a look of determination. I will do this. And I've been looking at Mass as a time of being fed by God, as a time of being closer to God than I am the rest of the week. But it's also a time to place my prayers and a time to do the work of worshiping God. And that balancing act of each other where, like, God is giving me infinitely more than I'll ever give back, but also I'm the one doing an amount of work of worship so that these two facts kind of lean on each other, is very important to me. And that's how my prayer life has been going, is joyfully doing the thing of prayer when I'm able to. Because when I've talked about depression before, there's a lot of times when I'm just not able to, or the prayer I'm able to spit out is extremely minor and weak. So that's what my prayer life has been. So in turn, how is your prayer life? What are you doing in your prayer? What is the stuff of your prayer? How can we pray for you? Please comment down below. Please pray for each other. Please speak honestly to each other about your prayer. Please, if you find someone who is open and honest, respond to them in kindness and not in harsh judgment. And love each other in these comments. Thank you so much, and I will see you later this week. Go! The video is ended.